need a testing 1, 2?
Nope, it's good, I can see it.
Okay, just checking.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. Thank you all for coming. I think we'll call this meeting to order and get started. If you please stand, we'll recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pastor Paul, would you please lead us in invocation?
Heavenly Father, tonight we thank you for allowing us to come together. We thank you for what you're doing in our community and helping our community. We thank you for those that serve the community. We ask your blessings on them. We ask that you give us wisdom and knowledge and how to go forward and how to make this community be all that she can be. We just thank you for that and thank you for the help that you've given us and the knowledge that you've given us so that this community can be an example of what can happen in a community this size. We ask this now in Jesus' name. Amen.
Okay. Roll call. Alderman Ward 1, Jeff Botkins. Alderman Ward 1, Jason Osborne.
Aye.
Alderman Ward 2, Mark Greening. Alderman Ward 3, Juby Moss. Alderman Ward 3, Kent Shoemaker. Thank you all for coming, Stephen. I'm sorry, Alderman Saunders. Here. Thank you. I knew there was I thought I missed it too, I wasn't sure, so I just kept going. Now we have public comment. And what I'd like to start with first is saying I know there are a lot of questions around the new utility policies. And what I would like to propose to do to keep this meeting productive and moving along is set up a town hall meeting, a meeting where we can address just utility collection policy. Everybody can come, voice their concerns. We will have our utility gals there, and we will answer all your questions and get it all taken care of in one meeting, just specifically for that issue.
When?
That's the next question. Thank you, yes. So, since I can't see the calendar from over, let me pull it up here. As soon as possible. This is the 22nd. What if we do Monday evening, February 26th? Council? If we want to wait until, to get it in the paper doesn't come out to the 28th.
We can do multiple town halls.
Okay? So let's do one Monday the 26th, and then it'll be in the paper Wednesday for maybe the following Monday, March 4th. So we'll have 2 town hall meetings. Danette? Yeah, 6 p.m. Monday the 26th, and Monday, March 4th.
Here.
Right here. Yeah, right here. All right? Danette, Phoebe, are those dates, are you available those evenings to answer questions? Okay.
I won't be here before.
Okay. All right. Okay. Any other public comment that doesn't have to do with the utility policy, because we're gonna take care of that in 2 town hall meetings. All right, we'll move on to consent agenda. Council, if you could look over the, agenda from the last meeting, February 8th meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from February 8th, 2024 council meeting. Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda from the February, the minutes from the February 8th meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Financials, council please review the accounts payable. Jennifer, do you have anything to add? I know we have a couple of big packets here.
Yes, is one of these packets, huh? The four, is one of these specifically for BD? Okay, there's six. No, there should be a face sheet, and you can correspond with anybody who's looked at these invoices. That's what these stacks are. This is what is currently due. We are still getting caught up with accounts payable. It's been a ugly process. We're working through it, and fixing it correctly, doing it one time without checks being sent all over the place. We're accounting for those checks coming back to us as well, so they're recorded appropriately.
Would you explain for those, so everybody knows, because, you know, the library bills weren't getting paid and stuff like that, about the whole situation, so that everybody understands why all this is.
A lot of these we've already approved.
Yeah, they never got paid. So would you start at the beginning and explain what all took place?
Absolutely. So, what happened was, it was being reported to everybody, myself, the council, at council meetings, that, the accounts payable was, every meeting, it was caught up, it was being paid. There was nothing outstanding besides what the council was approving, to that date. That was not true, and that was for all departments, not just specifically city hall or utilities. I did a full audit, and I have to go all the way back to the last council meeting in November and work forward from there to actually get accounts payable caught up. And there were several companies that had been paid 2 and 3 and 4 times. Those companies are sending us credit balances back, in sums of 5,000 all the way up to 15,000. Those are being recorded accurately. They will be reflected in our general ledger accurately. They do have to be recorded a very special way, for our next audit. But that is what happened, and that was unfortunately, no one sitting at this table here knew any different, because of what was being provided in the reports was not true. It simply wasn't true, unfortunately. So that's where we're at today. Alex, he's new to our team, maybe a couple of you have seen him a couple times, but he has worked diligently. We have both put in a ridiculous amount of hours trying to get these caught up, trying to make it the top priority to get everything that is due, past due, paid timely, and also record that so we have proof to bring to the council, so there is absolutely no question that it'll ever happen again.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So how close are we?
I'd say 50% mark. I wanna be much, much closer, and I'm personally frustrated that I'm not further, but
Because you're having to call everybody that we do business with, correct? Because some invoices she paid 3 or 4 times and some not at all.
yes, that is correct. And, I'm also finding invoices, during my audits that were never submitted to the council. So those invoices are also being brought forward and recorded. And I'm also trying to keep track of any penalties that we've incurred, because of it. It's definitely not a savory situation, but it is being fixed. Our approach is, we're gonna do it right, we're doing it right the first time, we're not going to rush through it where it has to be done multiple times, where it's very scattered. We're following state standards, we're following gap standards. Alex and I both have a lot of experience in accounting, so rest assured we do know what we're doing, and we're working through as fast as we can.
I do have something positive to report. Thinking of that, in PUA, we had Conda Bentley and Josh, and what is Josh's last name?
Like, Youngblood.
Youngblood. I reached out to them several weeks ago because I knew we had a record-keeping, bookkeeping fiasco down there. Boxes, bankers' boxes full of receipts and invoices and what is this and what is that, and no filing system happening for a very long time. So I reached out to them because their specialty is record keeping and records retention. So they know how to do things. They came this week and they said from the first time they came and talked with me to this time when they came Tuesday, they were astonished at in 3 weeks' time, the direction that we shifted in. They said, you've got it, you're going in the right direction. Now you're just gonna have to work through it and keep going and get it done. They were in awe. So we're moving in the right direction. Just, gosh, I wish we could speed up the pace, but we're working as fast as we can. So, there's your positive.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Now I'm gonna tack on, keep that positive taste in your mouth while I tack on this little bit of crap. My goal was to February 22nd have an audit.
Right.
I wanted to give you all an audit tonight.
Right.
On this subject of bills not getting paid, that kicked us in the rear with the audit. Because in Mr. Connolly's contract, if he's not paid when he's supposed to be paid, it delays his process. It can delay his process up to 2 weeks, it states in his contract. So when I reached out to Stephen the end of last week, and he was already hot because I had to go, I went to the post office, a couple weeks ago, I told you, and he wanted his check overnight. If he hadn't been paid, and we were told he was paid and everything was cool, he had everything he needed, when in fact, no, strike two, no, that's not right. It was false information. So, went to the post office and they couldn't overnight, the fastest they could do it was 2-day delivery, so I sent him the tracking number and he got paid. So I reached out last week and I said, Stephen, I have a meeting Thursday night, where's my audit? He said, Mayor, I still have some work to do on that, because with the untimely payment in my contract, it states that I can delay 2 weeks, so I was like, well, lovely. And then, I also found out that he did not get all of the information and the records that he needed from a certain individual either, so Jennifer had to get that to him. So,
He's got all that now.
he has all of that now, and I'm on the phone, Jennifer or I, every day, like, how do we have it? How much longer? So, I don't have it tonight.
Well, that's not all bad.
Thank you for saying that.
We're on the right track.
I seen a hand up over here before I started. Yes.
I mean, in the cases where vendors were overpaid, are they going to only issue credits or will they send us money back?
No, they will be sending, so that, technically, in the accounting world, it is misallocation of resources. So they are required by law, as soon as I sent off the request for it, they have to give us a check back. Because we have resources that have to be allocated in a very specific way. And I also have to keep track of all of those funds that were overpaid, and keep that in a separate report should an audit come. So, but in the instance, if it was like a $40 bill that will be due next month, we can justify applying that as a credit to the following month. So we do have some justification to ask for a credit and have in situations, if it is a sum amount of anywhere that is like $1,000 over what our next month bill will be, I have sent out notices for a full request of that check to be sent back, and no vendor has had any objections to that. They are wanting to comply fully and are starting to issue those checks.
That's more good news.
Yes.
It's nice when others owe us.
Yeah.
Even though it was our mistake in the beginning, it's still nice. Any other questions with the accounts payable, council?
I do wanna point out, the Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield is at the top, you see 39,000, if you go down to the blue highlighted, and see the 19,000, that amount should be subtracted from the 39,000 and the leftover balance, which, math really quickly is like 17,000. Okay, can't do that quickly, but,
It
it's
comes off of that
17,000.
39,000.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that 17,000 is due for March 1st to April 1st.
I noticed on, people services, that looks like 2 payments,
Yeah.
Is it- or do we have chemicals?
We had chemicals, and I don't know if I included that chemical list. We did have a lot of chemicals. I think you and I looked at the chemical sheet in your office. Cause there were a lot of, George is here, you might be able to speak to some of it.
I had heard that they received 2 monthly payments and that they talked with Tamitha and, it was, that they were holding on to the second payment for the next month.
Oh.
Is what I
Okay.
understood, but, I mean, that's not.
Have you
that's
reached
not-
out to people services? You might wanna,
Yeah,
you might put them on your call list in the morning and see where we're at with them then.
we are trying to go alphabetically.
Oh, okay.
Probably with that.
But that's a big one.
Probably.
But that's a big one.
Yeah,
So,
let's reach out to those.
yeah, I can make a call in the morning also and see where we are with that.
Okay.
So number 5, wireless USA services, what's that? Then number 10, you got Charlotte Valley and phone and internet services. How many services do we got?
So Sheridan Valley is all of the lines for the police department, any of the lines inside City Hall, and, the internet services attached to them. Wireless USA is. Let me find my voice,
Is that a new
so I can
one?
tell you a little bit more.
Say Wireless USA.
Mm-hmm, that's,
That is the radio
Yeah.
communications for the PD.
For the
yeah,
PD.
that's what I thought. Okay,
There's cell phones for everybody else.
So that would be under US Cellular, and, US Cellular, we do not owe them money at the moment. They're also working on, no, not credit, but, also working on a plan, to revamp. They have just absurd amount of technology available for the police department. Inside patrol cars, they've assigned us a grant writer, so that's a kind of a project, side project. That is also going on. I talked a little bit about it at the last meeting,
Yeah.
but that's why they're not on here.
How much, you told last meeting or something, how many cell phones do we currently have here?
7 hotspots, 7 cell phones
7.
through US Cellular.
okay, any other questions with bills payable?
On number 7, you might want to adjust the date on the minutes. Cause it says for January 25th.
On the minutes.
On the agenda.
On the agenda. Thank you.
All right, do I have a motion to approve accounts payable?
I make a motion to approve accounts payable for 2/22/24.
I have a motion to approve the accounts payable for 2/22/24,
Second.
and a second, all those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Old business, we have Robert's Garage and Towing. Our attorney is not here this evening, and I know he was working with those gentlemen, so.
Has anybody driven out there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
How do you get there?
go straight out the old highway.
Well, once you get out the old highway, where's the turn off to the barn? At Walker's or to
Half
past there?
Walker's.
At Walker's on the left.
About a half mile past Walker's, 'cause they cleared all that out, got a big old lot in
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
But,
If you viewed, Robert's Garage in Ewing or New London, they have state-of-the-art facilities, building company, and they usually keep everything very clean, very, very state-of-the-art, nice looking.
I had somebody ask me, if we annex that property to become part of Monroe City, is the city then responsible to provide utility services?
But if they already have it, you wouldn't have to.
Yes,
It should be in your city ordinance that when you annex in, you do provide the water and sewer.
So that would be a cost to us.
but that's what they were here, that's what they, discussed, is they want to be annexed in, and I think they even brought up sharing some of that cost. I
Okay.
think that's something that we need to discuss with them, that was brought up, you know, they wanted to know the cost, cause they're on well water out there, so that was the point of them coming in and wanting to be annexed in.
So, like I said, John Russell, we'll have to have conversations with him. I guess I'll do a follow-up and ask him if he spoke with those gentlemen, so that doesn't drag on.
There will be something for new council that's proceeding.
Sure. New business, youth and government. Jennifer, I think this was something you had,
Yes.
some kind of idea you had?
Yes, so several other, municipalities, that I had been involved with previously, have always had a youth and government day, where it allows, you know, the high school, their juniors, their seniors, and I think Jason would be a great candidate to help with this committee.
I'm second grade.
I know, but you're just based in the school. Where it allows them to learn about their local government. It allows them to learn about responsibility of council members. It teaches them the roles, the responsibilities. We have, previously we had always set up a mock council meeting, and they voted their own mayor, they voted in their own council members, a mock election, and it always gone really, really, really well. And a lot of those teenagers that were part of that grow up and become councilmen and aldermen, older women, so I think it's something that, you know, Monroe City hasn't ever done, but would, you know, be a lot of benefit.
I spoke with Tony DeGrave like a year ago about this, and I think it was a conversation, and then, so I agree. And I think with part of the filing, we had mentioned maybe having some of the business students from the high school come in and help us with the filing process, so I think it's.
And also participating in that, allows them through community colleges to gain college credit hours. If they wanted to participate in any type of like youth and government days in their local governments.
Interesting, worth conversations. Mayor's report, I think I've told you everything, the good, the bad, the ugly that I had, so I really don't have any more to add to that. My goal for the last meeting of March is to have, give a thorough update on where we are on all the projects that are going on, so that's all I have for my report. City clerk's report?
Yes, ma'am. So, we've been doing a lot with accounts payable. Most of that already, so I won't dive into that much more. I've also spent a considerable amount of time working, on our MIRMA renewals. And not to go back to bad news again, it was due January 30th, and it was, given to us, back in October for it to be started on, because it generally takes 3 months for it to be completed. I have, successfully gotten 75% of it completed in 13 days. I'm there at the finish line, I can see it, I'm pushing through. I've been putting in a lot of hours to get it completed. And just to kind of give a little bit of background on what it is, every piece of city equipment, every vehicle, every property, generator, pump, all of the different locations, the city farm, it is, I have to go back in, confirm the address, put in how many employees work there on a regular basis, either reconfirm the previous year, estimated value. A new added on step was we also have to value the contents of water tanks. There is a 500,000 gallon water tank that we had to estimate the value of the contents to add to the policy. What I was finding also triggered me to audit, some of the records for the equipment, the heavy equipment, the trucks that the street department, electric department, water department, sewer department, gas guys use. And through that audit, I had found, none of the police department's vehicles and the airport van had not been added to the policy as it was,
Say we were told to.
yes, pledged to the council that yes, it was done. It's done now, so everybody can take a breath of fresh air. I've been working with Myrma on that, they've been fantastic, cause it's been a grueling process to get that much work done in such a short amount of time. But we're at the finish line, I've got 25% more to go and start submitting it. And then we should be done with the renewals. So that a little bit of bad news, but also good news.
Is there a penalty for not having it now?
Yes, there was a giant penalty, but I talked our way out of it.
Thank you very much.
They felt sorry for me, I guess was a better word for it.
Play that card. Chief,
Jennifer, in the future, if you could give me a form on what all you all need, because we have to do a modified version of that with personnel and some of our equipment yearly to the state. If you could just give me what you need, then that can knock ours out for you.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, if you would like the reports, cause I can print out everything that I input into Myrma and print out reports, and you can literally take that report, take all the information and double it. Yeah.
We can get that yearly.
I'm
That
all
way it's
about
already
less
done for
work
you.
and simplifying processes.
That'll work.
Absolutely. Okay, and touching on business license, I know, some of the aldermen and women sure have heard about the business license. So previously, we were way out of compliance when it comes to business license. We were just handing a business license to someone who showed up and paid $25. We have an obligation, to make sure they're in good tax standing, to make sure they have liability insurance, workers' compensation insurance, and they are in good tax standing, I already mentioned that, good tax standing, workers' compensation, liability insurance, that's what I'm missing. No, I guess it is, liability insurance, workers' comp, good tax standing. And then a signed application, returned back. So we had a very minimal skeletal system that somebody had started to put together. I donated the time to the city on my own time to finish building that completely. And I previously, through a company that I previously owned, that most of you are aware of, also still have active software services that I collected data on businesses that were providing services or doing business inside of Monroe city limits. And per our ordinance, they would need a business license. Which, me doing that and then donating it to the city saved around $9,700 of the cost to the city. But it also took the business license all the way up to 503 potential business license, which took our revenue from $3,750 to a potential $12,575. of people who are openly telling us we're doing business in Monroe City. And so with that software, when I finished building it out, it allowed us to send an invoice to every single one of those businesses. We've been pretty swamped with getting those back with absolutely no contest. No one has said, I've done business in Monroe City for 2 years and never had to have a business license. I've not experienced that yet. They are $25 fee. They are providing the supported documentation. I think some of our local businesses, have just in the past used to paying that 25 and receiving, as soon as they paid that 25, getting that stamped license. We have an obligation to verify the documents, so that it's a process, and we've been trying to explain, and with the invoices that we sent out, Alex and I sent out 503 invoices, with, you know, instructions in there with an explanation. So most of those companies, I would say the majority of them are fine with it. I think some of the local businesses, because it's new, it's changed, it's been, you know, just something different that they weren't really liked, but once we explain it, they're generally okay with it. So going forward, we will be 100% compliant, because the software that I finished building is super easy to use, it's very intuitive, works great, payments can be entered really fast. It coincides with G-Works, because I can print a revenue report just for the business license. Those payments can, very quickly be entered in, and the license can be printed, stamped, and it's filed with the supporting documentation.
What do you think the turnaround's gonna be to get all of those out to the businesses?
I currently have, I wanna say 30% of them, the license, documents verified, license printed, it needs to receive the seal, and then signed and mailed out, which I think discussion could be had on how we're going to mail that. We're gonna use, manila envelope and then just go ahead and mail them. Local ones, do we wanna deliver? We'll take any help we can get on the delivery side.
So the ones I delivered, was that good, or did they have to be redone?
No, that was great.
Give me a sec. I'll deliver. Same with the liquor license, does this same thing apply?
So the liquor license is something I can wrap up very quickly. I've gotten the supporting documentation. I have just been so consumed with the MRMA, with, getting the audit stuff to our auditor, and accounts payable. I need to go back to the liquor license and finish a few things, and get the last remaining few liquor licenses out to those customers. And I have also reached out to them, and they know I've got it, it's being worked on, and they've been very cooperative. They're very understanding of what's been going on with us, so. But we will take any help we can get, especially for, local areas that you guys wanna deliver.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
On that note, I know Jennifer's been doing a lot, and what is one thing that has kind of got us in this boat is one person doing everything, and then not the delegation and the division of duties. And then the cross-training, so if somebody is gone, this person can step up and do the bills payable, or get the agenda out. Alex has been trained in working on agendas and things to that nature, and he will also be eventually doing the bills payable. So all invoices will go to Alex, and he will be the one processing the bills payable. As you've heard her say, there's just so much going on, and we have to make it priority to get the training done, and to get those delegations done, and to get the separation of duties done, so everything runs smooth down there. So I would really like to shut City Hall down for 2 days, 2 work days, with no public being able to come into the building, so we can get Alex trained, and without any interruptions, finish up some of these projects and get things done.
And that also came at the recommendation of MPUA.
Yeah.
When they were in, this past week, they recommended us doing that as well, because it will allow us to make a massive jump on work that, is high priority, to where it's no longer hanging over our heads.
Would the license office still be open?
License office could still could still be open and operate independently. I mean,
Mhm.
we could lock one door, keep that door open and pay, that it's.
And we would put it in the
only.
paper, post it on the
Yeah.
door, that these are the days we're gonna be closed, and what days do we kind of figure out would be a good time?
So we know, next week is definitely, cause we have a, that's when most people come in and pay their utility bill. The following week, and that's also with, what, Josh Youngwood, and Conda recommended is around the first week of the month, picking 2 days and shutting down, cause that is a little bit of a slow time for us, to go with that week and shut down for 2 days and just do some mountain moving where we can focus on that mountain.
So do you think, the first week of March, the Thursday and Friday of March, 7th and 8th?
I think that would be doable. I think we could, check with Danette just to clarify, but I think that,
Okay, so council, would you be in favor of us shutting 2 days down to get some work wrapped up and train Alex? Get some training done across the board. All right, when we narrow down those 2 dates for sure, can I send you out an email for official vote on that?
Yes.
Okay,
okay, and I just wanna touch base on a few more things and I'll be done, I promise. Okay, we, and Danette and I are new to Monroe City. I mean, we both have the experience with municipalities, but as for how things previously operated here, we don't have a whole lot of knowledge besides what, people can offer us. We put together a bid specification sheet, and I'm recommending a few changes to it. It is, this one. About the mowing, I'm recommending that we break it down, into breaking areas 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, and 10 into one bid, and that will be the parks bid. Taking areas 6 and 7, and taking that into the bid for the lakes. And area 8 is the cemetery, would be one bid by itself. So we would be receiving potentially 3 different bids for 3 different contracts.
What about livestock fields, since the school's taking over that, let them know that? And the ball fields, they need to take care of that themselves.
we call Tony.
No sense, that's basically.
I was talking to OB today. Route J has always been an eyesore out there, and we kind of started hammering down and working on that last year and getting some of that overgrowth cleared out. Because the Department of Conservation would like it to look a lot better than it does. We've made good strides and it does look better than it has. OB thought that, it was hard to get, mowing companies really don't want that out there because it's so, you need a brush hog out there and it's really bad on the mowers. And he said, what if the city the street department take care of Route J?
That's what they had to do,
Yeah. So maybe we take out area 7 and leave that for the street department to handle.
We've only been on area 6 for the lake end.
Where does the water plant fit into because Kendricks has been doing the water plant since I've been here.
It's area number 5, it falls under the park.
Okay.
And we also discussed that, our new wastewater facility, that's a little more area this year to do and a little more time because you've got the berm, you gotta weed eat around the trees and take care of that, so that's gonna take a little more time.
That's Jordan's.
Do we have that on here? Do we have the wastewater plant on here anywhere?
I thought it was.
It's never been on there before, the street department's always done it.
Yeah, well, I talked to Kevin today and he said that they're gonna do it.
He did?
Yeah, he said the street department would take care of the.
Okay, so that's why it's not on here. So the street department will take care of Route J and the wastewater
Yes.
plant. And he has 2 extra summer help, and, what's the gentleman's name that works part-time, comes back to mow? Mike Tooley. Yeah.
That's the way it's kinda always been in the past, it's always been 3 different bids.
Okay.
I mean, if you leave it like it is now, you could have 9 different contractors come in here.
Sure.
You know, just parcels, but this way you could, you know. And also, the bids for, make sure you understand is that the bids for the parks are for the whole season. The bids
Yeah.
for the lakes are for the whole season, but the bid for the cemetery is per mow.
Okay,
I also have that.
you got that?
Down there, it's per mow.
Okay,
So that's why she's gonna redo it
Uh-huh.
and submit it in the newspaper again.
gotcha.
Need
All
a
right.
motion to approve that?
No, I think that's the way it's been, so,
Alright.
any further questions with that? OB is your expert on that?
These ladies did a good job getting this together
Yeah.
without any guidance.
Yeah.
And, you know, they were doing the best they could, and I wanna commend them for that.
This is the last thing I'm gonna throw from
Does
you.
it tell me where Talitha's Point is?
Talitha's Point,
Talitha's Point?
that is, right here by State Farm, isn't that Talitha's Point? Yeah,
I never knew that had a name.
yeah.
What are you looking at, what one are you looking at there?
Area 4.
Area 4.
Right there where you
First
cross
one.
guard, that
Yeah,
little
yeah.
park there.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Okay.
So what I just distributed, I am requesting to place another advertisement for bids. This is for, the lead line, inventory and replacement. There's a grant that we've already gotten, and we need to get moving with contractors, and we need to get this out there. And George is gonna help me bring in, also get it out to extra contractors. We do need to get it in the paper, and get an affidavit of advertisement. So that's what I'm asking permission for.
All right, do I have a motion to approve, submitting the notice of project and request bids for the lead service line inventory project?
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second? And a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Anything else, Jennifer?
Yes, there is a conference coming up that I just learned about this morning. I learned about it through, the relationship we've been building with Palmyra. The city clerk reached out and said, hey, just thought of this, you really need to go to this. It is the Missouri, City Clerks and Financial Officers, conference that's going on. It's coming up March 10th through the 14th. So if you wanna send me, I gotta get on the registration. I don't have a ballpark of what the total cost will be, but good news. It is eligible for MIRMA reimbursement, as part of the training that they want, you know, the city employees to go to certain conferences and get that training. I don't know, I can get you all the exact financials of what it would cost and how much they would reimburse.
Where's that?
It's in Columbia.
You'd be gone right after we've been shut down for 2 days.
Yeah, we would be shut down for 2 days, and I would literally leave that night, cause it starts this Saturday. We would shut down for 2 days, and I would drive to Columbia, is kind of how that.
So
would work
Alex,
out.
those 2 days, you gotta pick it all up, brother.
No sleep. Okay, no. You can
I do
sleep.
too, I do too.
Make a motion about our regular conference.
All right, I have a motion to approve Jennifer going to the city clerk training in Columbia for March 10th through the 14th. Is that a second? Okay. Just making sure. And a second, all those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
I will email those.
I'm sorry, Alderman Saunders.
No, I-
Okay,
I'm still thinking.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to rush you.
Okay, I think you guys are done listening to me. I do wanna turn it over real quick to, Tyler to come up, just because he was kind of, had a situation that he reached out about. He had submitted information, that was supposed to have been brought to the council committee. he had also gone on vacation, he was on that time.
Oh.
And he had gone on vacation and thought it had been done, it was not brought to the council, and I didn't even know about it. It was sent to the city administrator. He reached out to me and says, hey, we're at the deadline, it's gotta be today, and he, sent me the 3 bids. He had to make a decision that day, and I said, go with the lowest one, we had to commit that day, it was a great cost savings for him to commit that day. I think it was like $7,000-8,000 is what I ended up saving up
Chemicals
front.
go up year to
Mhm.
year, so, I had till the end of January to make that decision, so, we acted in the best interest of the golf course and, the city in that matter of choosing the lowest bid that I felt comfortable with. I believe we're at about, $20,250. I know that the city allots $25,000, but there are some expenses that are like top dress sand, that's basically ordered on a needed basis throughout the season. I've budgeted for that, so whatever's been left over, it's gonna go towards top dress sand for the greens, and, any like incidental, things that I need as far as things come up, as far as, lake treatments and stuff like that. But I will not go over the 25,000 allotted, but that's where we're at right now. I need to get you the terms agreement, and it's, is, our first payment would be due, in May. However we wanna take care of that, whether, we just do the payment plan, or pay chunks. I mean, we'll leave that up to the city on how they wanna handle that, but
And that could be brought back to the next council.
Okay,
'cause
so
that
Tyler,
would
who did we
be-
go with?
Advanced Turf
Okay.
Solutions,
Have you worked with them previously?
I have.
Okay,
Very comfortable with, the representative and, their products too, so. But, just wanted to, get the council, let the council know, and we'll update them how things are going.
appreciate that.
I apologize, I've been here a year, and I hadn't gotten down here yet to introduce myself, so, I won't let that happen again. But, there won't be a year before I come back, so, I don't wanna keep much of your time, I just wanted to, inform you about what's been going on, so.
Appreciate that. Nice to meet you,
Nice to
Tyler.
meet you. Thank you.
And I think you could walk into vote to accept that.
Okay.
Just for the record, we're verbally committed.
So do I have a motion to approve the Advanced Turf Solutions for the golf courses? Yes, thank you.
$20,250.
Thank you, yes. Did you make the motion or just finish my sentence?
Both. I make a motion to approve, the chemicals for the golf course to Advanced Turf Solutions for the amount of $20,250
And 3 cents.
and 3 cents.
And second, all those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, thank you, Jennifer. Moving on, planning and zoning, Alderman Botkins. Parks and Rec, Mr. Yates is not here this evening, and I'm still gonna put it out there to the universe. We need a chairperson for that committee. No update on there. Economic Development, Alderman Botkins. Administrative report, Alderman Osborne.
We had a meeting last week to discuss office staff personnel downstairs, and we did make a hire job offer to allow someone that was currently part-time to become a full-time staff member, and they will start on Monday, full-time status.
Thank you, Alderman Osborne. Anything else? Would you like to schedule another meeting, or is it necessary?
I don't know if we do decide to have one, we'll send out email.
Okay.
Mark wants to have one. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Nuisance Review Board, Public Safety, Alderman Shoemaker,
Yes,
it's coming up.
28th of February.
February 28th at 5:30
Wednesday.
is the next nuisance meeting. next Wednesday at 5:30, right here. On the nuisance note, I did meet with the new owner of the, property at, Chestnut, North Chestnut Street over by South Park, the big 2-story dilapidated structure that's over there by,
On the west side of the park?
yes, North Park, yeah. By North Park on the west side.
By the church?
Yes. I've met with him twice, and, cause we were getting ready to post a condemn notice on that structure. And he came in, Carrie Lee and I met with him and explained, you know, why he was not in compliance with our ordinance, our nuisance ordinances. And if you go by there, you will see that he has made great strides in a week of cleaning that property up, and he's still working on it, so.
Was it the church or
No,
the house?
the house,
The
the
house
house
on the
between,
west side of the church.
Okay.
it was, Hughes used to own it years ago. I didn't,
Which church?
It's not a church anymore.
It's an apartment now, but.
It's apartment and
Oh.
contractor store, some of his stuff in there.
yeah, but that's not the property I'm talking about. I'm talking about the 2-story house
Next to it.
north of the church.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see, city departments. George? Anything for us this evening?
No, we're down to only, need to change out 40 more meters. And then
Awesome.
we are, having difficulty getting into, everything is now inside of people's residences. And,
Okay.
We've passed out notices multiple times. We're just not getting the response on.
So in your expert opinion, I know you've been through this process before, what do we do now? How do we get in there?
Well, I use the PD in Canton to get in, but, I know that the PD's busy and, you know, much busier than our department was, but,
Okay,
We're not catching these people at home, or?
I don't know. I know one person I talked to said, well, I just seen the notice on the door. I didn't even read it. I just threw it away. But, you know, so I
Somebody working, you know, like two of them go in and work some evening or something. when
Yeah.
maybe people are home. I don't
yeah,
know.
we could do that. I mean, your ordinance does say that they have to give us, access within normal business hours.
Mhm.
But yes, if you ask us to do it of an evening, yeah, we can. We don't have their phone numbers or anything like that to get a hold of these people.
okay. So if maybe I could have a list of those properties, I can try to reach out via phone tomorrow?
Yes, that would be wonderful.
Okay, otherwise then I have a megaphone, we can just go in the yard and say, open the door.
Yeah, there you go, yeah.
Okay, we'll try phone first.
Right.
Are you running into any of these meters that are getting like behind sheetrock that?
Yes.
Can't even
Yeah.
get to them, so what are you doing to that part? I mean, you know, the owner has just put up a wall in front of the meter, and you can't get to it.
Yeah, well, I got some pictures of your son climbing into a wall the other day. It was quite funny. But,
I know, you want to tell me
I
about
would
it.
like to see those.
yeah, it's, if they're in the house and, well, like today, we couldn't get into, there wasn't an inside shut off. So we actually dug up and we placed a meter pit out in the yard. We went down, found the line, and installed a meter outside.
And do it out there.
Yeah, so, you know, it is more, it's not as cost effective, but yet it gets it out of the house.
Right, right.
There's really no need to have them in the houses anymore like it used to be.
Mhm.
So, and then we are having a very difficult time with a couple meters down here at the Wedge. I have been working with that man for 3 years, and he was supposed to be here again today, and he didn't show. So we have one meter that broke, and they temporarily fixed it, but we can't get to it, and it didn't read for a week. So we lost out on them sales on that water, and there's 3 other meters that we can't get to put the electronic read on.
Okay, I'll make some phone calls tomorrow when you get me that list. The apartments?
But it's one's for it's one apartment, and then there's 2 other areas in the building that are not metered.
Okay. All right. Okay, anything else, George?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Airport, I don't have anything to report from Dell. Library, Ms. Carroll?
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, to some extent, you've addressed our issues at the beginning of the meeting. After being assured in January that all of our bills were paid, we discovered last week that that was not the case. We got a notice from Amazon indicating that our ability to order by, on the pay by invoice method was suspended. So if we want to order from Amazon, we have to send payment with the order. So, and other bills past due. So our credit is being harmed by this situation. I lost my train of thought. So I guess what we want to know is that we want some reassurance from you that our bills are going to be paid on a timely manner. We'd like to know that you will return some documentation to us of the bills paid. You know, the date paid, check number, whatever, so that we have that evidence of bills paid. I assume that you have the original invoices and the remittance slips
Yes,
for all of our bills.
And you and I, and Becca and Michelle had also met, last week, I believe.
2 weeks ago.
And I'm the one that brought you that information to let you know that
Right.
those bills had not been paid, and assured you then that I would be absolutely getting them paid. I would also provide proof, and get to it as quickly as possible, because there is a very, very large amount. It's happened to every department. So we're working through it as quickly as possible. So you will get proof that they are paid, and going forward, they will be paid timely because we're redoing our accounts payable process.
Okay. You know, our library is funded with tax dollars, and the bulk of that comes in January, so we know that that money is there. And so it's basically it's a time issue at this point, right?
Yeah, a time issue, and there was a process issue, that we completely redesigned the accounts payable process. What was previously being utilized was a very outdated, very poor method, so we completely have redone it, start to finish, to the most effective, best practice way.
So I get where your question's coming from. Is the money there? Yes, the money is
The
there.
money's there.
Yes.
Okay, our tax dollars are there.
Yes.
Okay.
They can only be used for library purposes,
Exactly.
yes.
What I thought that wouldn't come to me a minute ago was we were concerned because our Mornet had not been paid. And if our internet is cut off, we are dead in the water.
So we actually called Mornet, and Mornet owes you guys money. So whatever.
How's that?
I talked to Jeannie from Warnet. She said that I guess there was a double payment or a mistake on their part, and that they would be sending us a check with the money back, and that it would be.
And that will go back to library, that will go back to library. It won't go
Right.
to like a general fund, it'll be coded for library.
Okay.
So your Mornet is in good standing.
Okay, well, that's good to know, because that was one of our big concerns when we realized bills weren't being paid. Another issue that we have, and this is the one that we talked about 2 weeks ago, is the missing state aid money. Last year in May, a check came in for $891.31. In June, $1,473.45. This is, like I said, it's state aid money. We are supposed to use that money and then report back to the state how we spent the money. However, we've not ever seen the money. And I know that Jennifer is in the process of trying to figure out what came of it. It did come into the city, but it's never been credited to the library. You know, on the kind of budget that we operate on, that's a total of $2,364.76. That's a big chunk of money to us. And the big risk now is that because we are already past due in trying to, in reporting back to the state, we may not get that money in the future. We have contacted the state librarian's office and tried to explain our situation. They said they had some people out of the office and they would be talking about it and getting back to us. So that's a big concern, and I know you left a message for Becca to get in touch with you. She should be here tomorrow.
And if you guys want any help communicating with state, I have a lot of experience in negotiating, communicating, and fighting when it comes to the state saying, we're not gonna give you any more money, or you did this wrong. I have over 10 years' experience, in dealing with those issues and getting them resolved to a positive.
Okay,
aspect.
when we discuss it, we'll get back with them. If we need you, we'll let you know. And I appreciate that. I don't know whether, when the audit comes back, or at what point, we will get some kind of, financial statement for the library. We haven't had one in ages. Becca went back and looked through our minutes from the last couple of 3 years, and most of the time, we did not have a financial report. We're curious about our balance, which we think is about $140,000, but we don't know whether that's there or not, whether if that's been spent on other things. But we are anxious to know about that as well.
I thought she quit.
She did. She's coming in on Fridays. We are operating right now with part-time help, and Becca is coming on Fridays, probably not working more than 4 hours, but she's not our director anymore.
Who's taking that position?
We are not looking for someone right now. We did hire Michelle Kendrick. She is working on Tuesdays and part of the day, about 11 hours. And so together, she and Becca are trying to cover the administrative end of it.
That's why I thought Michelle was up there.
And we're going to continue that way for a while.
Alright.
Any other questions, or do any of you other board members who are here have anything that we should need to address?
Is there an estimate on when we might see financials, even if they're not 100%?
At this point, I'm scared to give an estimate because we're waiting on, Steve Connolly to give us those numbers. We're hoping as soon as possible, but.
Just waiting on the audit report. We don't have anything else to tell you, really.
2 weeks from today?
2 week, yeah, he said just a 2 week delay, so no, 2 weeks from last week when he received the check. So next week, end of next week.
But that was before, cause last night how he said he didn't have those expenditure reports. He should have had those expenditure reports back in December. That is a huge part, and if he hasn't addressed those, he just got those, my concern is that's a large part of that
Okay.
audit.
So I don't know.
I
We
guarantee
should
will
be,
on him.
we should be able though with the library budget to go back through, find the most recent. And, I mean, it should be easy to track. It should be easy to come up with a number because it's one tax that comes in unless, I think the question was whether or not donations or any,
We have a significant balance from bequests and donations, probably $140,000, and quite a bit of that was interest money. So, yeah.
So you guys probably have documentation of that, right?
Of donations, that's been over, we can't find it. In fact, a lot of records have disappeared.
We have old, minutes that show account balances.
Those
And it
would be
has been
helpful.
consistent for, what did we go back, 10 years? It was pretty consistent.
Well, that balance has been pretty consistent, yes.
But
And
it's
I
just
can
meeting minutes. I
bring
don't.
some of that in, but as far as records of bequests that were made, we've hunted, and
okay.
a lot of things were cleaned out when, Ms. Good left. A lot of files were.
So we might be able, I'm saying is find a ballpark figure, you know what I'm saying? If you can find the last minutes where there's a definitive number on it, and then we can go by what bills have been sent out.
Well, I can definitely bring you the reports that we have.
Mhm.
I don't know how accurate.
It's a starting point.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So you were saying that our internet bill was one of the overpayments. Okay.
Thank you, Mrs. Carroll.
Okay.
Street department, OB is not here this evening. He did send, we had a discussion to,
His report's in the packet.
yeah, reports in the packet.
He wants to give a multi raise.
Yes.
He wants to bring Robbie Moore up to currently what Robbie and Trey are making, which would be an 86-cent raise.
And that's something, quite frankly, we can,
And then we'll give him a raise, he got off probation or anything like that.
he was not,
That's what Kevin said, so.
okay.
When they get off probation, they are supposed to, per our policies, supposed to get raises.
He was over, was it Robbie, he was over the gas department.
Yeah, they switched him here and there.
Yeah,
He
so,
moved around, but he wants to bring him up even as a debit employee.
and we talked about that quite some time ago.
Yeah.
So probably next meeting, executive session, we need to hash out these details probably and go into more depth with that.
You just do it retroactive.
Yeah. Electric department, we have a report in there from Carrie Lee as well, I think. Gas, Terry Osborne, reports in there. Terry, do you have anything you need to, make the council aware of, Terry?
It appears we got some gas services we're gonna have to do some changing on.
What you gotta do some digging on?
Replace them?
Meters?
Well, probably the whole service.
Oh, the whole service?
Yeah,
Why is that?
because it was put in right to begin with. They used threaded pipe, and we're having a lot of problems with these threads breaking for some reason this year. I got a list of them, but, I haven't got it all put together yet.
Okay.
About how many you talking about?
I'm not sure. There might even be a section of main too, or two. But, we haven't done any improvements like that for, not as I can remember. Anyway, I hope you got my report. I don't know, sometimes my email works, sometimes it don't.
I have something for you too. I'm trying to clean out and organize rooms in City Hall, and I found a box and it's quite heavy on the top shelf and it says gas sniffer.
Gas sniffer?
Mhm.
Oh, is it the paper?
No, it's in a box. It's something heavy. I can't get it off the shelf, but it says gas sniffer.
I think it's the.
Is it papers? Those blue
Is that the little?
handouts or is it?
Scratch and sniffs?
Okay.
Those are supposed to go out, I think, twice a year.
Okay, I was like,
I don't think
is
they're
there,
doing it.
what is a gas sniffer?
It's public education, so.
Okay, well, I feel better now. I wasn't gonna pull it off the shelf and there'd be something.
You're supposed to send them out, scratch and smell.
I was like, what? I was like, what is a gas sniffer? Terry will know what a gas sniffer is.
Little handouts, yeah, twice a year.
Oh my goodness. Terry, when you get a more clear picture of what needs to be done, just,
I got a partial list now.
okay,
Just off of memory, I can think of some more that, one of them goes underneath the house, the other one goes underneath the corner of the garage. That's a main dude, oh man. I don't know, we're gonna have to deal with that.
At the board? Board?
No.
No.
You know, that one over on Thomas Street, you need to just,
Abandoned and put a new line in?
well, it's 1.5 inch, we can't do nothing with 1.5 inch anyway, we don't make stopper fittings for it, so we might as well just run a new main all the way around Thomas Avenue and bypass all that. And get rid of it. Now then you got a section over here on Cleveland Street between, Park and Cleveland. And Kincaid and, well, where Paul Walker's old house used to be. That's orange plastic, and they didn't put a locate wire in with it, so we can't locate it. And they use PVC saddles on it, which deteriorates with the odorant we use.
so is any of these projects big enough to where it's gonna require engineering, or what do you
No,
need
it's
from
not gonna,
us?
it's just gonna require us going in there and trying to find what's there and so we can replace everything.
Okay, okay,
We may have to hire USDI to come in and do some welding for us.
okay. All right, keep us updated on what you need.
Yeah.
And that was a picture of enthusiasm. Okay, Chief James.
I don't have anything real big. our new hires that began classes Monday of this week. Everything's going good so far. Some of the equipment that we had to order, is actually provided, so, some of that I'll be getting with you. We'll either be able to cancel or we'll be able to send back whenever it gets here. The second thing is, Jennifer already kind of touched on this, we will be going over this week some grant opportunities, that we can look at in the future. Some of these are things that she found, some of them are, some things we would like to look at, but, we'll be going over that this week. I would like to take the time to say that, as far as from a manager's perspective, City Hall has been improving tremendously. Our communications over there.
Thank you.
A lot of our accounts have been having some issues with getting orders out, things of that nature. That is all improving, so I'd like to tell everybody over at City Hall, thank you all for what you are doing. We appreciate that. But other than that, that's all I have, unless anybody has any questions for me.
How long will he be in school?
We're looking that he will hopefully be out by somewhere around the beginning to the middle of June. They don't give a hard date just in case they have any days out, but we're looking right around the June timeframe.
Great.
Okay,
Thank you,
all.
Chief.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Chief Enix,
So, Aerial FX has got a hold of me for our 4th of July show. As you know, there, a couple of years ago, we went through where we could not get Aerial FX to get our supplies for us. And we ended up having to spend a tremendous amount of money on the same product. We are now back with Aerial FX, and, so, the part of the, you're gonna look at the main show, all right? And you're looking at, it's a little over $6,900. That's gonna take care of your main show. Now, that is not counting the 8-inch mortars. Jeremy does not do 8-inch mortars anymore, so I have to get those from another place, which I have a place to get them from. Last year, we got them from a place down in, almost by Springfield, Missouri, and we had to go down and pick them up. Kelly Owens is the guy that we have worked with for many, many years, and he told me that, if we purchase them, that he will bring them to us. So,
do you have any kind of ballpark figure what that is
I'm
gonna be in addition to
guesstimating
this?
I'm guesstimating you're looking at probably $1,200-1,500 at more.
Okay.
That's for your 8-inch mortars.
Okay.
That's
How
for
many of those?
8.
Just 8 of them?
Yeah.
So is
But
that,
there's-
price for 8 of them? 12 to 15
That's
is
for
for
8
8
of
of
them.
them, okay.
8 of the 8-inch. They're about $100 a piece.
Yeah.
I mean, but they're massive. I mean, if you've never got out there and see what these fire guys do to set this stuff up, you really need to. It'll give you a whole new respect for what they do.
That's awesome.
Because it takes a lot of hours and a lot of different things. I mean, from wiring it to actually setting the show up to where this is gonna go off here, this here, that, you know what I mean? It's a totally different deal. When we first started it, we started it out with hand lighting it, and it was like, oh no, that's insane.
So,
And then we went to the electronic boards. So now we're way back. They fired off from the electronic boards. Last year, we end up, I think we get $2,500 for another board, which looks exactly like our board now. So we have 2. And then we got cables, extra cables too with that to finish out our show because we didn't have enough. So like I said, I think that Monroe puts a good show on. And I know that a lot of people come to it. And it's something that, it's for our kids. And that's the biggest thing I look at. is something to give our kids and grandkids. So, I will have another bid as soon as I get the 8-inch mortar spec. I will have that coming to you, but
Okay.
the
So what's the
6,900
deadline?
is for the main show.
Okay, what's the deadline? When do the prices go up? When do you have to have approval?
Right
for
now.
this? Okay.
February is when they want this done.
Okay, yeah.
Last year, we had this done by November,
Mm-hmm.
and, so
We
yeah.
do put on a heck of a show. It's nice to see everybody out.
And,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it brings a lot of people,
I would agree with that. I've seen it.
yeah.
You need a motion to allow the purchase of,
Yes.
I'll put that in form of motion.
Got a motion to approve the purchase of, with Aerial FX for $6,995.56 for the firework show the Monroe City Fire Department puts on.
Second.
Don't everybody jump at once.
Made a motion.
Second. Got a motion and a second. All those in favor? Any opposed? Alderman Osborne?
Listen,
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear
I was
you.
just thinking, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I didn't hear you. Okay, motion carries. Thank you,
That's
Chief.
all I have.
Okay. Okay. That is all we have, folks. And we have nothing for closed session this evening, so do I have a motion to, yes, ma'am.
I just had a question. Earlier in the meeting, you mentioned that you had a lot of filing and stuff in a box that you needed to do.
Yes.
Is that something only employees can help with?
Oh. Becky, would you like to join a filing party?
Well, I wouldn't mind helping file if that's what you need.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Okay.
We would love to have any
Yeah,
volunteers.
yeah.
I just didn't know if it had to be somebody certified or.
No, nope. Conda and Josh are going to get with us. We're waiting for, they're gonna have sheets for, guidelines for us to follow, best practices, how things should be filed. And so, we'll have instructions, and I've got the room all set up ready, so I would be glad to have you. Okay.
One of the things in PUA we're working on, was creating a checklist so that we could bring in people who weren't experienced in, the document handling, where it goes, what type of document it is, and be able to look at this checklist and say, okay, not this box, not this box, not this box,
Yeah.
not this box, shred pile. Check 3 boxes, then it equates to goes to this box. So we will be happy to have volunteers
Yes.
come in and
Might go a little
help.
faster if you can.
Definitely. And I would like to add one more thing before we close this meeting. Rich Maziarka, you are Monroe City's cheerleader right now. I appreciate all the positive comments that you fire on Facebook. It is, I appreciate the positive
How
comments.
many citizens are just citizens here today, so I can put that in my comments, that are just here like I am. I know a couple. How many?
We had a room full. I mean, most of them have left, but
I
yeah.
heard of 3,000, 2,000 people. That's-
Yeah.
see, that's what I
But
wanna
I
get.
appreciate the
So,
positivity.
a dozen? Okay, that's what I'll.
Thank
Yes.
you.
You're welcome. Anytime. If I can file, I'd help.
Okay.
I'll bring you a glass of wine.
Sorry. We've all thought about it, but we can't go there.
How about aspirins? I keep telling you.
Yeah. So do I have a motion to adjourn, council? A motion to adjourn? Second? All those in favor? Motion adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
Brad Connor,